answers to tutorial 2. So these are the answers to the objective questions, and each question is worth 2 marks. We will discuss the individual questions in detail later as we proceed to the subjective questions first. Subjective question number 2. The demand for fireworks show among Ayman and Ben are represented by their respective marginal benefit functions. The demand for Ayman is given by QA is equal to 200 minus 15 PA, and demand for Ben is QB is equal to 150 minus 35 PB, whereby Q is equal to the minutes of fireworks and P is price in ringgit. Then you're told, suppose the marginal cost of providing the fireworks show is constant and equals to 10 ringgit. Then A, derive the inverse demand functions for Ayman and Ben. Hint, P is a function of Q. So kalau Anda disuruh untuk mendapatkan fungsi permintaan songsang untuk Ayman dan Ben, what do you have to do? You have to solve for P as a function of Q. Although you are given demand, QA is equal to 200 minus 15 PA, QB is equal to 150 minus 35 PB. Solve for P on the left-hand side, di sebelah kiri. So from QA equals to 200 minus 15 PA, move negative 15 PA to the left. And then 200 minus QA, move positive QA to the right, you get negative QA. Then solving for PA, you divide both sides by 15, we get PA is equal to 200 minus QA divided by 15, or 200 over 15 minus QA over 15. Further simplifying this, we get 200 over 15 is 13.33 minus 1 over 15 is 0.07 QA. For PB, we move negative 35 PB to the left, ke sebelah kiri, kita dapat 35 PB positive is equals to 150 minus QB. As we move QB from the left to the right, the sign changes to a minus. Solving for PB by itself, PB is equals to 150 minus QB divided by 35 as you divide both sides by 35. PB then is equals to 150 divided by 35 minus 1 over 35 QB. Further simplifying it becomes PB is equals to 4.29 minus 0.03 QB. 150 divided by 35 is 4.29. 1 over 35 is 0.03. So these are the inverse demand functions for Ayman and Ben. Price as a function of quantity. 2 marks each. B, derive the aggregate demand function for fireworks. Here, Anda disuruh terbitkan fungsi permintaan agregat untuk pertunjukan bunga api P star. Based on the inverse demand functions that we have found in A, P star is equals to the summation of the inverse demand functions for Ayman plus Ben. So we have found from part A, PA is equals to 13.33 minus 0.07 QA plus PB would be 4.29 minus 0.03 QB. Solving this, since PA and PB is equals to P star and QA plus QB equals to Q star, we can rewrite this function here as P star is equals to 17.62 minus 0.10 Q star. How do you get 17.62? 13.33 plus 4.29. How do you get negative 0.10? You get negative 0.07 plus negative 0.03. And then you substitute QA and QB as Q star, you get this Q star here. This is the aggregate demand function for fireworks show, P star. 2 marks. Part C, what is the optimum quantity Q star of fireworks show in minutes? From part B, we found P star is equal to 17.62 minus 0.10 Q star. That would be the aggregate demand. Then you equate P star is equals to MC. And since MC, marginal cost of providing the fireworks show, is constant and equals to 10, we equate 17.62 minus 0.10 Q star is equals to 10 and solve for Q star. From here, we have negative 0.10 Q star, move it to the right, and 10, move it to the left, you get 17.62 minus 10 is equals to positive 0.10 Q star when we solve for Q star. Q star would then be equals to 17.62 minus 10 is 7.62. Solving for Q star itself, divide both sides by 0.10. You get Q star is equals to 7.62 divided by 0.1. Q star is equal to 76.20 units or 76.20 minutes of fireworks show. 2 marks if you successfully equate P star is equal to MC, and 2 marks for finding the minutes of fireworks show. Q star is equal to 76.20 units or minutes. D. How much are Aiman and Ben each prepared to pay for the fireworks show? Berapakah jumlah yang Aiman dan Ben sanggup bayar untuk pertunjukan bunga api tersebut? Here, to calculate this, we substitute Q star yang telah kita pun cari tadi for QA and QB, and then solve for price of Aiman and Ben. So from the inverse demand function for Aiman and Ben that we have found earlier, we substitute Q star of 76.20 minutes into QA and then solve for PA star. This gives us 8 ringgit. 13.33 minus 0.07 times 76.2. We get Aiman's willingness to pay for a fireworks show would be 8 ringgit. Solve for PB, insert 76.2 into QB. We get 4.29 minus 0.03 times 76.2. We get PB star, Ben's willingness to pay for fireworks show as 2 ringgit. 2 points each. E. What is the total price that Aiman and Ben are prepared to pay for the fireworks show? Total price, Aiman is willing to pay 8 ringgit. Ben is willing to pay 2 ringgit. So the total price both are prepared to pay to see the fireworks show would be P star is equals to 10 ringgit. This was the price, P star equals to MC equals to 10 ringgit. So this is equal to the marginal cost of menyediakan pertunjukan bunga api tersebut sebanyak 10 ringgit. 2 marks. F. Can the fireworks show be successfully provided with Aiman and Ben bearing the costs? Bolehkah pertunjukan bunga api berjaya disediakan dengan kos yang ditanggung oleh Aiman dan Ben? If Aiman sudi bayar 8 ringgit, Ben sudi bayar 2 ringgit, maka ya. Pertunjukan bunga api boleh disediakan dengan kos yang ditanggung oleh kedua-dua Aiman dan Ben. Aiman sudi bayar 8 ringgit, Ben sudi bayar RM10, and this is equal to the marginal cost of producing it. MC is equals to 10. 2 marks. G, what does this tell us about Ayman and Ben's relative preferences with respect to the consumption of fireworks? Ayman is willing to pay RM8, Ben is willing to pay RM2. Apa yang boleh dinyatakan tentang pilihan relatif Ayman dan Ben? Maka boleh dikatakan bahawa Ayman has a higher demand than Ben for fireworks show. Since Ayman's demand results in a higher price, P star equals to RM8, Ben hanya RM2, it suggests that Ayman values fireworks more highly than Ben. Ayman's preference for fireworks display is greater than Ben's. Lebih tinggi daripada Ben. 2 marks. G. H. Can a fireworks show be successfully provided if Ben decides to be a free rider? Kalau Ben ketahui bahawa pertunjukan bunga api adalah barang awam, ia tidak boleh dikecualikan daripada menonton pertunjukan bunga api tersebut, then Ben, to be a free rider, says that I'm not going to pay, I'm not willing to pay. My demand is equals to 0. While if Ayman is still willing to pay RM8, then the answer here is that if Ben decides to be a free rider, PB star is equals to 0, then the fireworks show would not be provided because Ayman's willingness to pay, which is RM8, would not be sufficient to finance the cost of provision at RM10. Tidak cukup. Okay, tidak cukup wang untuk dikendalikan. Tak boleh finance the cost of provision of RM10 based on Ayman's willingness to pay of RM8 only. Two marks. That is why goods such as fireworks show or public goods, other pure public goods, the government has to step in and provide for such pure public goods because individuals will decide that they can be a free rider. They know they cannot be excluded from enjoying the benefits if they decide not to pay. Now let's look at the objective questions. Objective question number 1. One of the characteristics of government-provided public goods is that what? So examples of government-provided public goods are, let's say, national defense, pertahanan awam, right? And we know for public goods, pure public goods such as national defense, it protects every citizen in the nation. Setiap warga negara dalam negara tersebut akan dilindungi, tak boleh dikecualikan. So there will be free riders if you ask individuals to pay for national defense. There will be a situation of free rider problem. Consumers receive the benefits of any public good purchased by others, and this will prevent the provision of any optimal level of output to be realized. Akan terdapat penumpang percuma. So here, consumers have an incentive to exaggerate their willingness to pay for the good, for the pure public good. Consumers will say that I'm not willing to pay for national defense because they know once it is provided, mereka tidak boleh dikecualikan daripada dilindungi. That is why government will have to provide for such pure public goods as national defense. Number 2, which of the following images lists show the properties of a pure public good? Yang manakah image tersebut yang paling kurang memaparkan sifat-sifat barangan awam tulit? So we know from our discussion in class, for barang awam tulen, it has to be 100% non-rival, 100% non-excludable. Tak boleh dikecualikan dan ianya adalah there will be non-rival. But if it is pure private good, then totally excludable, boleh dikecualikan, and totally rival for pure public good. Anything in between, there will be quasi-public good, and goods that have 100% of non-excludability, tidak boleh dikecualikan, has no restriction. While goods that have 100% non-rivalry but 0% non-excludability boleh dikecualikan, tetapi 100% of non-rivalry describes goods that have no congestion, tiada kesesakan, or zero marginal cost if an additional user were to use it. Okay, so list show the properties of a pure public good. For lighthouse, they are pure public good because ships in the sea cannot be excluded from looking at the lighthouse, and an additional ship that can see the lighthouse has zero marginal cost. Similar for pertunjukan bunga api, individuals cannot be excluded from a public fireworks show, and an additional person looking at the fireworks show would have zero marginal cost, no congestion. C, same here, whereby individuals in a public park can enjoy a movie if it is given and shown on a public show, on a public television here. So individuals cannot be excluded from enjoying the show, and an additional individual coming to sit somewhere here will not have any additional costs. So zero marginal cost or no congestion because the place is so big. However, for this picture here, this is a picture of a highway, right? It's a highway, and there are congestion here. Congestion. Therefore, the answer of list paling kurang memaparkan sifat-sifat barang awam tulen would be highway, such as this, because there will be congestion. An additional car will create an more jam, right? Although they cannot be excluded from using the highway. 3. Which of the following describes the problem of adverse selection? Yang manakah menerangkan masalah pilihan bertentangan? Adverse selection problem, definasi is that it occurs as parties, either consumers or sellers, possess more information than the other. So here you have a situation of somebody doing bungee jumping, and it is just stated that he has just bought life insurance, right? So here, this individual knows that he likes high-risk activities and he went to buy insurance. This is a situation of moral hazard. C, my health insurance will cover my stay at the first-class ward, but it's only a minor cold. This is a situation, again, of a moral hazard because, why? He knows that he is covered by insurance. That is why he wants to stay in the first-class ward, wants to be admitted in the first-class ward, although it's only a minor cold, according to the doctor. Moral hazard again. He will indulge in activities knowing that he has been covered. D, government's bailout of Northern Airlines sparks renewed debate on long-term viability. Bailouts, government bailout airline, and the airline does not need to make sure it profit maximizes because they know that once they run into trouble, the government will come in and bail them out. So this is a situation of moral hazard again. B is a situation whereby this individual, maybe a banker, bank manager, does not know how to distinguish between a high-risk borrower and a low-risk borrower has difficulty distinguishing between high risk or low risk borrower. So this is an adverse selection problem because consumers or borrowers possess more information about their own finances compared to the banker. So the answer here is B. Number 4, which of the following situation illustrates the economic concept of free riding? Free rider, the definition of free rider problem. Consumers receive the benefits of any public good purchased by others, and this prevents the provision of any optimal level of output to be realized. A, all Foodpanda riders are covered by free accident insurance of up to 100,000 ringgit. Is it free riding? Or B, an individual who took time off from work to get vaccinated. Or C, used car dealers allows prospective customers to bring their own mechanics to inspect their cars. Or D, one of the residents in a gated community refuses to pay for the security services. The answer is D. Salah seorang penduduk di komuniti berpagar enggan membayar untuk perkhidmatan keselamatan. Walaupun beliau tinggal dalam komuniti berpagar, mereka mesti bayar, betul tak, untuk perkhidmatan keselamatan. Tetapi oleh kerana dia tahu dia boleh menjadi penumpang percuma, seluruh komuniti akan menikmati perkhidmatan keselamatan walaupun dia enggan bayar, rumahnya tetap dilindungi. So this is a situation of free riding. Number 5, why do governments supply public goods in market economies? A, the private sector is unlikely to provide public goods in sufficient quantities. B, government taxation can be used to finance public goods. C, government involvement is crucial to combat leakages from corruption. Or D, governments possess perfect information when providing public goods. Kenapa kerajaan membekalkan barangan awam dalam ekonomi pasaran? Here the answer is A. The public sector is unlikely to provide public goods in sufficient quantities because of the free rider problem. Oleh kerana masalah penumpang percuma, sektor swasta tidak mungkin menyediakan barang awam dalam kuantiti yang mencukupi. Seperti pertahanan awam yang dibincangkan tadi. Sektor swasta tidak mungkin menyediakan pertahanan awam dalam kuantiti yang mencukupi kerana mesti terdapat masalah penumpang percuma. Number 6, when the average buyer of an insurance policy is likely to have higher risk than others in his or her class, this is known as what? Is it a moral hazard problem or an adverse selection problem? Where one party has higher risk compared to the other, then this is an adverse selection problem. Next, a situation where a seller has information about the dangers of a product but still sells it without informing the consumer, for example, the cigarettes industry, is described as what? Whereas a situation where a homeowner does not take the step of replacing the batteries in a smoke detector because he has a good insurance policy is called what? Here, there is a problem of asymmetric information in first part, whereby seller has more information about the dangers of a product compared to the consumer. So this is asymmetric information here. But second part, since the homeowner has already bought good insurance policy, he or she does not take the necessary steps to replace the batteries in a smoke detector. This is a situation of moral hazard. All right, so asymmetric information, one party has more information than the other, while the other is moral hazard. Maklumat asimetri dalam kes pertama dan bencana moral dalam kes kedua. Number 8. The what problem can be successfully addressed if individuals working on a fixed monthly income are given stock options to pursue the goal of profit maximization, because the higher the profits, the higher the value of his or her stocks. Here, is it a moral hazard problem or an adverse selection problem? Okay, here it is a moral hazard problem, because moral hazard occurs when being protected from the consequences of one's actions encourages additional risk-taking. So here in this particular example, if individuals are given, here in this particular example, if individuals are working on a fixed monthly income, they do not have any incentives to work harder, right? But if they are given stock options to pursue the goal of profit maximization, then they would have more incentive to work harder, to earn more money, to earn higher profits, because then their value of the stocks would be higher. Number 9, the above image describes the free rider problem due to the what characteristic. So here we have a situation, a photograph of busking in the public. So this public is probably in Jalan Tunku Abdul Rahman in Bukit Bintang, and I think this singer is Bob, very famous busker. His name is Bob. And what is the free rider problem here? The free rider problem here is that anybody can just stand by the roadside and listen to Bob singing, right? Nobody can be excluded from standing on Jalan Bukit Bintang, Star Hill. So this is a problem of free rider, because due to the what characteristic? Excludability, non-excludability, rivalry or non-rivalry characteristic. The answer is non-excludability, because individuals cannot be excluded from standing there listening to Bob singing. Although they don't want to pay, they don't have to pay. Right? They can listen for free without contributing to Bob's donation, without donating to Bob. So non-excludability when we have a busking situation. Number 10, suppose a medical breakthrough allows doctors to accurately predict the likelihoods of major illnesses such as heart diseases and cancers in their initial stages. And this improves survival rates and treatment outcomes. What will happen? As a result, what will happen? Medical breakthrough allow doctor to accurately predict the likelihoods of major illnesses, such as heart disease and cancer in the initial stages already. Therefore, there's more information available to health insurance already, right or not? Because this medical breakthrough allows for prediction of likelihood of major illnesses. Therefore, then we have a problem of adverse selection. One party has more information than the other. In this case, then the insurance agencies would be able to accurately predict the likelihoods of major illnesses such as heart diseases and cancer of their customers. So they have more information, then adverse selection problem would be minimized, and health insurance companies can lower their premium rates. Otherwise, they will charge at the median range, average rates, right? Number 11, the image above shows Ali and Chin. Ali is this one here, Chin is this one here, trying to sell their used car to Guna. although it is not immediately obvious from initial observation, Ali's car is in fact a lemon. Ali's car here, the yellow one, is in fact a lemon and has major engine problems due to lack of care. While Jin's car here is a peach, as he maintains his car well. Raju, being an ignorant consumer, cannot differentiate the quality of both cars. And then in economic theory, signaling may help to solve this problem of lack of information. One party has more information than the other. Which party has the most incentive to use signaling in this case? So here, market interventions include signaling. When I mentioned in class that second-hand car dealers can allow consumer to bring their own mechanic, or they allow for extended used car warranty, so that to show that used car dealers are trustworthy when they say a car is of high quality and worth paying more money. So in this case, which party? Ali and Chin, Ali and Guna only, Chin only, Ali only, Guna only, would have an incentive to signal that their car is of good quality or high quality and worth paying more money. Of course, the answer is Chin only, because Chin has the peach and he wants to make sure that Guna knows that his car is of high value. Ali, on the other hand, would be afraid of signaling, asking Guna to bring his own mechanic to check for the car, because he knows that once the mechanic checks the car, Raju will know that Ali's car is a lemon. Number 12, which of the following examples describe a market failure? A, individuals who are insured are less likely to take proper precautions. Individuals who are insured are less likely to take proper precaution. Is it a market failure? Remember, we have 5 types of market failure. Number 1, imperfect competition, monopoly, monopsony. Number 2, externalities. Number 3, public goods. Number 4, asymmetric information. Number 5, government failure. So A refers to asymmetric information or information moral hazard. Individuals who are insured are less likely to take proper precautions. B, health insurance purchasers possess better information about their own health status compared to insurance company. Again, this is an asymmetric information problem because consumers have more information compared to suppliers, providers. C, individuals will not pay for goods or services if they can receive the benefits for free. Then we are talking about free rider, public goods. Market failure also. D, Malaysians suffer from air pollution and haze due to illegal land clearing practices by Indonesian farmers. We have a negative externality in this case, produced by Indonesian farmers, and Malaysians suffer from air pollution due to illegal land clearing practices in Indonesia. Externalities. So all A, B, C, D are examples of market failure, one of these. So all of the above answers describe a market failure. Number 13, based on the information from the above image, Ali will offer what? Here, Ali will be willing to pay 30,000 if this is a lemon. Both cars are the same, but if it is a lemon, he's willing to pay 30,000. If it is a peach, he is willing to pay 100,000 ringgit if this is a peach car. Right? So based on the information from the above, Ali will offer what? What will Ali offer? He will guess that if it is a expected payout for a lemon, and if it is a 50-50 chance of a lemon, expected payout will be 0.5 times 30,000. And if it is a 50-50 chance that it is a peach, then he will offer 100,000. So 0.5 times 30,000 plus 0.5 times 100,000, 15,000 plus 50,000 is 65,000. So Ali will offer 65,000 ringgit for any used BMW if the probability that it is a lemon is 50%. If the probability that it is a peach is also 50%, he will also offer 65,000 ringgit for any of these BMWs, whether it is a lemon or a peach. The last question shows you an image. The image above shows the Link Bike Sharing Service Station in Penang, operated by the Penang Island City Council. The public can pick up a bicycle from a station and return it to any other station within the network. Here, renting a bike can be done by scanning a QR code using a mobile app. The use of the mobile app does what? What is the use of the mobile app? Does it A, removes the negative externality of ride sharing? B, removes the adverse selection problem of ride sharing? C, removes the moral hazard problem of bike sharing? Or D, makes bike sharing less like a public good but more like a private good? Because you have to scan a QR code using a mobile app, you might have to pay for it. So it makes bike sharing less like a public good, but more like a private good. D. That concludes tutorial 2's answers. The end.